Hi folks, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Now tonight I just want to do a quick how-to. I was given a lovely request by my friend George, whose username is Aegean Devil. Hi George, hope you're okay my friend. Now this is for you. I just want to show you how to get your tank off your 48. It's quite interesting that in the email you said that your friends have said if you take the tank off your Sportster you will screw up the electrics. That's a new one. I've heard some rubbish, but that's amazing. It doesn't screw up electrics at all. Take the notice of what your mate said. I think they call that bar stool racing. It's just a load of trash. It's a very simple task. It's held on by 2 plugs and 2 bolts. And I'm going to show you where they are, how to get them out, and how to disconnect the plugs. That's the most important thing, is how to disconnect everything. Because the tank itself is, on a modern fuel injected Sportster, it's more than just a tank, it's a part of your fuel injection system, and it is siamesed in through a fuel supply system and a power supply system, and that has to be correctly disconnected so you can take the tank off. It's not just a rubber pipe anymore. So show you how to do that quite simply. Stick around, stay tuned, and I'll show you how it happens. Okay, the first thing is to get to the back mount and the front mount. We're going to just locate the 2 metal mounts that hold the tank. So on your 48 you've got this little tiny triangle seat, and you may be able to see the front bolt, I don't know, but you can't see it on this bike. So we're going to take the seat off, and it's just a screw at the back, very, very carefully.
Not like that.
That's very scary, because obviously you've got this paintwork around this area and it's very easy to slip with a screwdriver, so be very careful. I always say something about this paint: when you're dealing with screws and tools around paintwork, it doesn't hurt to get yourself some duct tape. Just a roll of duct tape, and you can use it to connect, to cover your paintwork, and then if you slip with anything it just hits the duct tape. So with these seats on most of the Sportsters, undo the screw, push forward, lift it, and then wiggle it back, and the seat comes off in the normal way. Right, so this releases the 2 mounts for the tank. You've got 2 physical mounts, one at the front here, and it's if you come around the front, Pen, just show what we've got. We've got a 1/4 inch Allen bolt there, coming down the front, that way.
I'll duck down.
1/4 inch Allen bolt, duck down, get that in pillows there. You've got a 1/4 inch Allen bolt there, then round this side, on the other end, you've got this little thread protector, just take that off, and then you've got a 1/2 inch nut. So you just take the nut off the end, and that bolt through this side can just be withdrawn, clean out, like that. It's the same on the back here. Look over the top, you've got a 1/2 inch nut and a 1/4 inch Allen bolt. Take off and slide out, and then that will rest down on the tank, and that's the tank disconnected. That's physically how you lift the metal box, which a tank is, off the bike. But the most important thing is up under here. Now we've got several things that are of importance, and I'm going to show you how to disconnect them. Right, as I said just now, the fuel tank on a fuel injected bike is a part of the fuel injection system, and you have a plate on the left hand side of the tank. There's nothing on the right, so you have this plate on the left hand side. Now this plate holds, come on down and look up underneath more. This plate, on top of it, there are 2 cylinders that go up about that far. One is the pump that pumps the fuel, and the other is the filter. And obviously there's a sender unit in there as well that guesses the level. Now, that has a power supply. So yes, indeed, you do have electricity inside a fuel tank, which is, believe it or not, quite scary, but you do. And this bunch of wiring here is what you need to disconnect. So we simply follow it, like that. There it is. There's the wire. Just follow. With all wiring, just follow it, and then we find a plug there. So all you need to do is undo that plug. It's got a little tiny rubber snap. Yours could be different. This is an 08 bike, and I'm not sure what the 1248 has got. So just find this plug. In other words, follow the wiring, find the plug, and unplug it. It's simply a push plug. Okay, it's got a little clip around it. Undo the clip and pull the plug out. Don't force it, and certainly don't ever pull on the wires like this, because you can pull them out of the plug itself. Get hold of the plug and the plug. Pull the 2 plastic halves apart. So that's your plug, very simple job. The other thing's an overflow. Just here, you've got an overflow tube. And that is when you overfill it up in the top and it pours around the side of your cap, it comes down through an inner steel tube to this. And all you do with that is pull it off. That's some of that where we had it painted. And that's simply your overflow tube. So that just comes off and it will just sit there and boogie around. Okay, so there's your overflow tube. That has to come off, otherwise it will stop the tank removal. Now the final thing is this. This is the one that foxes everyone. This is the actual fuel petcock if you wish. You don't have a petcock like you do on carburetors. With these fuel injection systems you have a ball valve. Now a ball valve is simply two ball bearings that face each other and they're pressed together, and then that lifts them off their seats and the fuel is allowed to flow. When you pull that off of there, the two balls then go into their seats and seal. So it's a self-sealing valve. When you undo that, it seals the valve there and seals the valve there, and it comes off. You get a tiny little bit of fuel. I'm going to show you how much. Make a torch pen. So to undo this, you've got a collar here, like that. Hold. You've got a collar on here, and that collar is spring-loaded, as you can see. So you, with your right finger and thumb, push this upwards, and with your left hand, hold that, twist it and wiggle it, and out it comes. Now that amount of fuel is all you'll get. If you look in the end, there's a little tiny bearing, little ball, and there's one up in there as well. No fuel will come out, fear not, no fuel will come out of there. That is a completely sealed system. And also there's an electrical supply in there, believe it or not, and if that's not connected to there, the bike won't start. So that's it. You've disconnected your power supply because you've taken the plug off, you've disconnected your fuel supply, and you've disconnected your overflow. Once those three things are disconnected, take out the rear bolt, take out the front bolt, and you can lift the tank free. It's as simple as that. It really is easy. It's not a difficult task, just don't be scared of it. And when you come to put it back, just do exactly the opposite. And that is, put the overflow back on, plug the plug back in down here, which you unplugged, and on this, offer it up to its mount, push the spring out the way, push it up inside and let the spring go, and give it a jiggle, make sure it doesn't come out. If the bike doesn't start, it'll be because that isn't seated properly. That has to be seated properly. It's got electrical earth inside it. Very clever piece of trickery. So there we are. Once you've done that, bolted the others back on, you can then put your seat back on. Okay, so there we are. It's as simple as that. It really isn't hard. As you can see, there's nothing there that would screw up your power supply whatsoever. If you didn't do up that fuel collar in the correct way, pull the sleeve back, plug it in, and then let the collar come down to grab it. It's got a little kind of grab inside. Very clever piece of technology, and it's used the same on race bikes, believe it or not, on the track. They have the same thing. If the tank comes off the bike and goes tumbling in a crash, the fuel supply is cut by a ball valve. Very simple. And that's it. The other thing I want to talk about is protecting your tank. So come on in, I'll show you this. When you take your tank off, I know why you're taking your tank off, but this front area, and the reason I haven't physically taken this tank off in the demonstration is I don't need to, and I don't want to risk it. This area here is at great risk from these sharp edges. They really are sharp under there. I don't know why they've designed it that way, but when you lift the tank, if you lift it straight upwards, you can just gouge two big lines down there. It's pretty horrible. So duct tape around the front of your tank, or at least a rag around the front and some duct tape over there or something, and protect it. So that's it. That's how to do it. Why you're having to take the tank off your 48, I don't know. It could be because you've got the bigger one on. Many people do that. The 48 apparently is called the 48 because that's the tank range, 48 miles. But it's up to you. Whatever you're doing it for, I hope that helps you. Thanks for tuning in to What's It Always Garage. Take care, ride safe, see you next time.